Hello and welcome to this year's Voices of the Vic Christmas Special. And I've already forgot to play one of the jingles I was going to play, but never mind. That is what we like here on Voices of the Vic. I had a nice little jingle played because it is Christmas. Let's give you one of these.
Ho, 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 Merry Christmas.
Nothing like a bit of a delay there. I'll cut that down for the edit. But yes, it is the Voices of the Vic 2024 Christmas Special with me, Mike Duffy, him, Joe Thomas, him, Ben Aiton, and him, Cameron Smart. We are missing Katie. So, Katie, when you watch this back, we do miss you. We wish you were here. But I'm sure we'll have as much fun in your absence, and we'll have the fun for you. First things first, so gentlemen, I'll come round to each one of you first. Joe, how's things doing? You all good? First thing I'm noticing, you've got a Christmas jumper on, so that's ticking the list. Have you got a nice alcoholic beverage too to accompany you tonight?
I actually have, yeah. I've gone for a
Well, yeah, if you tell everyone, because this is going out as a podcast as well.
Oh,
so.
sorry. Camden Lager Top Lemon Lager. Yeah, I thought I'd give this a whirl.
Okay. So, very good.
Yeah, looking forward to that.
Very good. Good stuff. I have got
I'm good though, thanks, mate.
General Budweiser straight down the middle for me. Nice and boring. Ben, it's been a while, bud. How's things with yourself? You've got a Christmas jumper on. You've got the Watford Christmas jumper on. And what is your choice of drink for tonight?
Yeah, no, it's good to be back. It's obviously been a very difficult time lately. For people who don't know, I'm going to keep it short. My missus has been diagnosed with cancer. Just want to say thank you to everyone who's given me so much support. Like the messages I've had off social media has been amazing. To these boys and Katie as well for helping me out through the most difficult time of our lives. But yeah, doing okay, mate. Kate's had her second round of chemo. She's doing okay. She's a strong cookie. She's fighting it. And yeah, I'm all right. It was a bit of a mess the first couple of weeks. That's why I've taken like some weeks off in that, but I'm better mentally and positive and looking forward to the future. So yeah, it's good to be back. It's been 4, 5, 6 weeks since I've done a podcast. So a bit nervous for tonight, but looking forward to it equally. Got my Christmas jumper on, like you say. The Watford ones came out, and I've got my favourite cider tonight, the old Aspel. I've got that tonight. Probably crack one open. There's more in the fridge as well, so I'm going to crack on tonight. But yeah, thanks for having me back, boys.
Good stuff. And can I just say on behalf of everyone, and I mean everyone, it is brilliant to have you back, and everyone's fucking behind you, and you've absolutely got this 100%, mate. I don't want to make you cry, so yeah,
I've done that enough in voice notes, mate.
But no, seriously, it's great to have you back, and I can't wait already. I'm like a kid at Christmas, actually. I think this is only my second time hosting a Christmas special. The first one we ever did in our first year, Ben, I think I did that. But I think you've sort of fronted them, and I wasn't even on one year. You had Pidge and I want to say Tom Wicks from the Golden.
You had like COVID or something pulled out like last minute, and then I had to run around trying to find 2 guests, wasn't it?
That was it.
But luckily, yeah, Tom and Pidge helped us out that evening.
Absolutely. And Cam, you're a late arrival to the party this evening. For those that are listening on a podcast, obviously Joe has got tick the box Christmas jumper. Ben has ticked the box Christmas jumper. I've got a Christmas jumper on, and Cam lets the team down because he's just got some grey fucking hoodie on. So yeah, not a great start, Cam, but it's nonetheless it's great that you're here because you didn't know whether you were going to be available or not. How's things with you, and what's your choice of drink for tonight?
Well, I feel like I'm going 0 out of 2 here because I've just got water with me. I could have played it off as vodka lemonade or something, but it's just water. But yeah, I'm all good. Just had a nice Christmas dinner, so absolutely stuffed. And yeah, I'm actually really glad I've made it on here, even though I am letting you guys down by not being festive enough.
You're absolutely all good. Anyone that's watching on YouTube would have just seen me sort of look around a couple of times. Then my little cat Chandler has decided that he wants to now start meowing like a maniac and start jumping on the top of the door. So, in fact, if you're watching, that is him on top of the door right there. So, yeah, just
So
be
if Beck
prepared.
opens the door right now, he's going to fall, yeah?
Yeah, basically, and he does that a lot as well. So be prepared for him to be whizzing about like 1-0. Gonna do things a little bit differently this year. Ben did a fantastic job last year of putting together a load of slides and all that. Unfortunately, the laptop I'm working with tonight doesn't have the functionality to be able to put slides together. And as well, I thought we put a load of effort in. It's going to be just as good. You're not going to be missing out if you're listening to this as a podcast. Whereas if it was all visual, you'd sort of feel like you're missing out on things. So we're just going to go through the usual topics that we go through, and I'll list them right now. There's a couple that the lads already know about because I told them to sort of pre-think because it's not just on the spot stuff. And then there's a couple that you will be able to. So I'll list them all now. So the categories that we're going to talk about in terms of football-wise, we're going to do Player of the Year, and that runs from January 2024 through to now. All of the categories run from Jan 24 through to now. So Player of the Year, Young Player of the Year, that's 22 years and under. Favourite Watford Christmas goal, you've got free reign on that one. It's any Watford goal scored in December. One participant, I won't name who, has already fucked that one up.
No, I've had a backup. I was just asking the question.
Well,
I've got a backup. I've got a very good backup.
Okay then. That's okay then. We've got favourite Watford Christmas match, which again is any match in December, doesn't matter what year. Signing of the year, again, January 24 through to now, because obviously we don't know who we're going to sign in January. We've got goal of the year, again, Jan 24 to now. Team performance of the year, Jan 24 to now. And unsung player of the year. And then I'm also, to keep it Christmassy, I'm going to throw in between sort of each, maybe do 2 categories, and then I'm going to throw in a few sort of Christmassy questions as well. And then at the top of the show, for you guys listening at home, I want you guys in the comments, and you can leave comments on Spotify now as well. So if you do listen to us on Spotify, please do leave us a comment. We've had a few already. It took me a few weeks to sort of play around with it all and get to grips with it. So I know what I'm doing now, so I will reply. But and for you guys as well, Joe, Ben and Cam, have a think, because at the end of the pod, if you can think during the pod of a Watford Christmas 11, I've got 2 players. One of them is a bit of a push. Now, Joe and Ben, this won't mean anything to you, so I apologise. But Cam, it's very much like a Rockbusters.
Okay. I know what we're in for then.
Yeah.
So
have a think during the episode about who might be in your Watford festive 11. Like I say, I've got possibly 2, but they're horrendous and probably really 2 bad ones. But let's kick things off with Player of the Year. So, like I said at the top of the show, then it runs from January 2024 to right now. Cam, let's start with you. Who would be your Player of the Year?
That worries me actually that you started with me, because I'm not quite prepared for this one. But I think, judging by obviously players have come and gone this year, Wes Hoot and Yasser Asprilla were standouts, but they're not with us anymore. Probably, well, yeah, that's true. But I think just over the course of the year, he started to come into it sort of January time, and he's obviously unbelievable now. I'm going with Georgie Chatfatadze. I think he really sweeps it home, to be honest. He's been incredible this year.
Georgie Chatfatadze, I think he's going to get quite a few votes. Ben, your Player of the Year?
See, I'm going to go slightly different. My Georgie is by far the most talented player in a Watford shirt, so he would win that hands down if we did that award. But Player of the Season, like giving me 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10, week in, week out, Matty Pollock. Since he's came in, he's been outstanding. Since he's came in under Clevs, you can't fault him. I think maybe Georgie's gone missing in a few games, where Matty's been consistent every single game. The partnership he's got with Porto is outstanding as well. So for me, Matty Pollock would be my player of the year.
Excellent. And Joe, you nodding?
Yeah,
Are you team Matty Pollock?
Yeah, that was going to be my choice as well. Yeah, like I don't disagree with what Cam said. Georgie's fantastic, and like Ben said, he's the most talented player at the club by a long way. But for me, Matty Pollock has been phenomenal from day one this season, and you wouldn't be dropping him any time soon, and he's going to get the captain's armband one day, isn't he? Soon, so yeah, got my vote.
Excellent. To be honest, because it runs from January, I think obviously, Matty's Watford career didn't start off great. And I think Matty's got to win it for me as well, because to see where he was from that Millwall game, which was it on TV or I don't know if it was, wasn't it? So to see the fact that it was on TV, he had an absolute stinker. And then you're sort of thinking, well, that's him done. And then obviously, one of you guys, I think it was you, Ben, you spoke to him for the fans chat, and he said to you, he says, look, I was out the door. I was ready to sign in Belgium. So I think considering how far he's come, obviously Asprilla get to mention Wes Hoot as well, Chapvadadze, they all get honourable mentions as well. But I think for the pure consistency, it's got to be Matty Pollock. So, I think Matty Pollock probably wins that first one. It's a shame that Katie isn't here, because, it'd be interesting to see who maybe she would go for. Oh, who's that? It's Katie. It has given us our answer for Player of the Year. Let's see who Katie voted for in Player of the Year.
I thought she was coming on the screen then. You're building her up so much.
I'm not that good, but let's see who Katie voted for Player of the Year.
My Player of the Year is Matty Pollock. I think he's been the most consistent player that we've had, especially this season. I'm so glad that he's now been able to get his break into the team. He's really looking like a leader and someone who can drive this team forward. He deserves it. He deserves his spot, and he's really stepped up to the plate.
There we go then. Another vote for Matty Pollock in the first category ticked off. Steve, this is where I'm feeling like I'm doing a bit of a crap job, a crap service, because at this stage last season already, Ben would have had Matty Pollock pop up, or he would have had it at the bottom. But I think just so it's fair for the guys listening as well, there'll be no fancy graphics. You're not missing out on anything. Matty Pollock wins the Voices of the Vic Christmas Special Player of the Calendar Year. Let's go for another category before we delve into a bit of a Christmas question. Let's go for Young Player of the Year. So that's 22 and under. And Joe, let's start with you this time round.
That's a tough one.
And that you can go back to January 2024.
Yeah. You know what?
Go on.
The problem is the people that I really like, I've only seen glimpses of. Like, I'd really love to say Rocco Vata. Like, I really, really like him. He really excites me every time he comes on the pitch, but I just don't feel like he's played enough to kind of warrant that.
Of course.
So it makes it really tough. I'm going to say Quadro Bar, I think. Am I allowed to say him? He's under the age, isn't he?
He's 21.
Yeah, he's 21, actually. Yeah, but Bar for me, like when you think, like, obviously Cam and I, we were stunned when we were stood at Stevenage, weren't we? And he was starting where he was, and we thought, like, what's happening here? Obviously, he scored within 10 minutes? I think it was the first, 9th minute or something he scored, didn't he?
Great finish as well.
Great
finish. Was brilliant. And we were thinking, oh, crikey, we're on to something here. And then obviously as the games went on, I think there was Hibs he didn't play in the pre-season. He didn't start. I don't think there was another game he didn't start. And we thought, oh, maybe is Tom not going to go with him? But you know what? For a guy that was, again, we thought was probably out the door and probably not going to be seen in a Watford shirt. Maybe get another loan move to a lower league side for the season. For him to step up, come in. Not only is he contributed with assists, goals, he looks like a complete player at the moment for me. And I really, really hope that he just progresses and gets better and better with the more game time he gets, because, I think he's going to be one hell of a player. And I think if he's played in the right position and he plays how he likes to with a lot of aggression, he could be he's got that little bit of Troy Deeney in him, hasn't he? And that's what we've been missing. So, yeah, love Quadro Bar, and he wins it for me.
Yeah, it's always a weird one with Bar because you feel like he has more assists than he actually does. So for me, it feels like he's on 4 or 5 assists, but he's only on 2. So that assist on Wednesday night was only his second of the season. So it's a bit of an odd one.
Is that including the Sunderland penalty?
I don't think you get assists.
You do in fantasy football on the old FPL, don't you? If you win the penalty, you get the assist.
I base it on transfer marked and also flash score. Flash score only has it down as 2 assists. So take it up with them, Joe. Let's go to Ben next. Your young player of the year this year is?
Young player, sorry to be the same, Quadro Bar. He's just been so explosive since he's came onto the scene, and he's the first academy player that's got me excited since probably Sean Murray. But there's a different excitement. Like Sean Murray, you would fancy him in set pieces and long ranged, but he just gets you off your seat, and you just know that he's going to cause the opposition trouble when he runs at him. Like midweek, we saw he ran from our own half, and they couldn't get a sniff near him. And he just looks so dangerous every time he gets into an 18-yard box, and that's why I'm probably giving him player of the season, young player of the season, because he's just entertaining. Like I could have gone Ryan Andrews, but then Ryan Andrews, I don't think he's been as consistent, and he's been in and out of the team, and he doesn't excite me either. Like I feel like he's got so much areas in his game to improve on, whereas Quadro Bar, I feel like he's more of a ready-made footballer than Ryan Andrews. And I know that's crazy saying that Ryan Andrews has played more first-team football than him, but I just feel like Quadro Bar is more advanced than what Ryan Andrews is.
Yeah. Yeah, like you say, he gets bums off seats, and we haven't had enough players like that in recent years. So to have one come through, and especially sort of come through from the under 23s and whatnot. Obviously, we signed him from Rochdale. There was a lot of hype around him, and then we sort of thought, is he going to follow that route of other players that have come from teams? Like, we signed Dapo Mabude in the same transfer window, and Matty Pollock, I think. And I mean, obviously, Matty Pollock's just won our player of the calendar year, but Dapo Mabude, I couldn't tell you where he is now. I'm sure probably Cam knows because he's
not a clue.
Well, to be honest,
is he not the one that had the accident?
Yeah, he did have an accident.
Yeah,
so he wasn't as serious as it looked, though.
He was playing.
Oh,
in Holland.
You mean that one? Oh, yeah, of course.
He's in Holland now, isn't he? Was he in Holland?
Is he?
No, that's Adrian Blake's in Holland.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Because Dapo Mabude is at Dunfermline. He's played 8 games this season. He did go to Oostende, which is Belgium.
Oh, Belgium, that's it. Yeah, I know it was somewhere overseas.
Yeah, bullshit. You were thinking of you were defo thinking of Blakey, weren't you?
Well, no, because I remember we had the accident in Belgium.
No, he did. Yeah, it was quite serious as well.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
yeah, but it's good to see Bar, and look, I mean, I think what summed him up is Wednesday night's assist to take the ball from where he did and then run all that way. No one got near him. Not only is he fast, he's powerful as well. Again, look at Wednesday night. He absolutely bodied that player. And to be fair to the referee, he didn't book him. He didn't give a foul. I think we won the throw-in in the end. A lot of referees are scared with that, and they'll give the foul. But he just recognised that he's really, really strong. Cam, are you in the same camp? Are you giving it to Kwadwo Bar, or are you going to go different? Or
I was thinking about giving it to Kwadwo Bar. The Matty Pollock crossed my mind, but he's actually aged out of this, hasn't he? He's 23 now, so I've actually settled on Yasser Asprilla. I think we're really overlooking him because he's not here anymore. But he had a phenomenal first half of the year, and to then go and make us, what was it, 20 million? I'd say an all-round good year for Yasser. So yeah, I'm going to go with him.
Yasser Asprilla. And Katie, who has she gone for? Let's find out, shall we?
My young player of the season is Yasser Asprilla. I honestly just think that he hasn't been beaten by any one of our youngsters. I think we do really miss him in our side. We miss that creativity that he had. It's big boots to fill, and I feel like so far this year, no one has beaten that. So that's why he's my young player of the year.
There we go. See, I've already listened to all these, so I know all our answers. So when Cam said Yasser, I was like, oh, we're tied here. So I've got the winning vote, but I think, look, Kwadwo Bar is brilliant. He's a breath of fresh air. He's someone that you really want to come on if he's not starting. Is he maybe, could you argue at the moment, is he maybe better as a sort of impact player? Possibly. He's certainly better if he's deployed out on the right, because I know he got an assist at Hull on Wednesday, but I think he was sort of deployed more as one of the two number 10s, wasn't he? So, again, maybe not as effective as he would have liked to have been, and granted, he didn't play for long either. But I think it has to go for me for Yasser Asprilla. I mean, that guy, I know he's been up and down at Girona. I don't think he's played an awful lot. I think a lot of that is injuries. He did play the other night against Liverpool, and they lost. They're 9th in La Liga at the moment. But yeah, I think that kid, if he can get a good run of games under his belt at what's the word I'm looking for, at Girona, then he could go on to do something really, really special, because he's only scored once so far for Girona in 8 games, but he got 6 goals and 7 assists for us last season. So that's something else. And we've seen him score some absolute screamers. I was there at Rotherham for that nice finish on the edge of the box. Ben was there at Norwich for that absolute screamer, which unfortunately we lost. So, but for me, he's such talent. So for me, Yasser Asprilla gets my vote for that one. Next category, let's throw in a little Christmas question. Now, Ben, you did that much of a good job last year. You stole all the really good questions. So I'm going to sort of try and mix it up a little bit with a few sort of jokey questions, and then a few serious questions about Christmas as well, because it is a Christmas special after all. Let's start with Joe. Best ever Christmas present you've ever received?
Blimey.
Putting you on the spot here. And your kids are next door, are they? So, anything?
It's difficult, isn't it?
You know what? I mean, it's nothing against Sophia, because obviously I love both my kids equally. When Nat and I found out, I mean, if I remember rightly, it was around this time in 2015 that we found out that she was pregnant with Amelia. And yeah, it was kind of like a bit of an early Christmas present, because it was just, it was obviously, it was a bit of a shock, because it wasn't really planned, if I'm being completely honest. It was just it happened. We went with it, and we're very fortunate to have now two beautiful girls. But it was, when I think back, it was around, I'm pretty sure, I'm just trying to think, we played Sunderland away.
Of course, you remember who we played at the time.
Yeah, we played Sunderland away the day after, and I'm sure it came up.
I think we won 2-1. Did Igalo score?
No, 1-0 it was. Igalo scored after 3 minutes. Pantilimon was in goal.
I got the
And,
coach up to that, and it started snowing about an hour away from Sunderland, and was like,
Yeah.
"Oh God, this is going to get called off."
Yeah, it was that day. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, amazing. I've remembered that, to be honest, but yeah, that's probably I'm going to go with that. Yeah, to be fair.
A nice sentimental answer there. Just to bring it back down to voicing the Vic level, I didn't ask Katie any of these, but I'd imagine her best Christmas present is probably that life-size cutout of Wesley Hoot that she's got in a uni room. So, yeah, that's probably hers. And Katie, if you're watching, you can confirm whether that's the case in the comments or not. Cam, my brother, what's the best Christmas present you've ever got?
What did you get me last year?
Fuck knows. Oh no, I always get you Watford vouchers because I know that's a solid present to get you anyway.
The thing is, I'm really, really bad at knowing what I want for Christmas.
Yeah.
So I trust other people to go out and just buy for me, and as a result of that, I don't really get many things that that hold sentimental value to me, or anything that lasts long. Really, I mean. I get the most basic presents ever. I get clothes and like vouchers and stuff and money, and I can't honestly think of anything that's like, like a standout present. Yeah, I've really got nothing here, to be honest.
Well, when you get to our age and when you get a little bit older, you'll realise that those clothes and stuff actually are really handy.
Oh, I've realised that.
I need nothing more than a 10-pack of boxers would do me an absolute treat this year.
And you know what? I think it's a sign I'm getting to that point, because you know what the most exciting thing I've had in recent years is an air fryer. That just shows where I'm getting to. So yeah, I am hoping for more sort of cooking utensils this year. I'm hoping for more clothes, and I honestly haven't got any standout exciting Christmas presents in mind.
There we go. So where's a piece of paper? Write down Cam spatula. Okay. Ben, you next.
See, I'm the same as you, Mike. Like, when you get older, you really appreciate getting the Lynx aftershave and shower gels to buy that for a couple of months, and also the pairs of socks, because you never go to the shops to buy your socks. But when you was like 16, 17 receiving socks, you're like, oh, this is such a dud present. But when you get older, you're actually really excited to open the socks. But that isn't my most favourite Christmas present, unfortunately, everyone. Who knows? Unless I get really good ones this year, it could be this year. But first year me and Kate got together, she got me a really nice watch, which was, I really weren't expecting anything like that. We was only just got together. Literally, we were official for about a month. And she got me this really nice watch, which was, it was really special. So, yeah, that's probably my most favourite Christmas present.
Yeah, that is quite something. A nice watch. You always appreciate a good watch. See, this is where I'm stuck. I mean, I thought of these sort of questions, but then never actually thought of the answers for myself. Now, I'm stuck because for two reasons. One, my boss got me a really good gift one year, but I don't want to come across as a brown nose because he listens to this and he will rip the end out of me if I say his present was the best I've ever got. So I can just hear him now in my head ripping
what
the
was
absolute
the present?
out of me. He got me a official signed Watford football, but it was signed by Troy Deeney and it come like in casing. So it's in the spare room somewhere. And
it's
then
in the spare room somewhere. That's shocking. It should be on the mantelpiece in the middle.
Don't forget,
that favourite, was it?
We've not long cleared that spare room out because it was a shed load of wedding stuff.
Yeah, I've seen the before and after on Instagram. Jesus, it's
Yeah,
like
a lot of that.
DIY come in.
A lot of that was just my clothes. I sort of just melt out my clothes. Beck will say that, but yeah, the other problem is Beck doesn't listen to this, and I can't imagine she's going to start listening to it. But I'm sure she's got me some great things, but I just cannot remember. So I don't know.
You should listen to this podcast. Mike said something really interesting about all your presents.
I don't. Do you know what? I'm gonna go down the sentimental road like Joe did. So I got engaged on the 2nd of December. The the same day as Hull City away last year when Wes Hoots scored that goal. I got engaged that day, and that's probably the best Christmas present I've had. Beck saying yes. So there we go. We've pulled it round. I'm hoping she's within earshot in the room next door, so she might actually listen to this. Who knows?
She's crashed out on the sofa. She's been at a Christmas work party.
Probably is, to be fair. Yeah, she's hopefully ordering a Mackey's soon. But let's move on to our next category, and it is quite Christmassy actually, because I asked the lads and Katie for their favourite Watford Christmas goal. Now, you might be listening thinking, what the bloody hell is the requirement for that? It's pretty simple, to be fair. It's just a goal that Watford have scored in December, any year. Now, Ben, you said you actually had two because you didn't know whether... I don't know if it was for this one or for the next category, but...
I've got two for both.
Well, let's lead with you so you can set the mark on this. What is your favourite Watford Christmas goal?
Oh, it's difficult. So I've got two really good ones. And I think one of them is going to get mentioned because it was last year. So I'm going to leave that open for someone else to say.
Yes.
So I'm going to go back to 2016 when Watford won 3-2 over Everton at Vicarage Road on the 10th of December, and it was Stefano Okaka scored the back heel inside the 6-yard box. So that would be my favourite Watford Christmas December goal.
What a goal that was. You have just plucked that from the archives of my tiny little brain, because that was such a goal. And do you know what? I actually felt, Cam, none of this probably means anything to you because you were 2 seasons after you started watching Watford, but I genuinely felt sorry for Okaka because I think there was a player there. There really was.
Didn't get much game time, did he, really?
The right player at the wrong time, I think is probably best to say, because he was competing with Troy, and Troy was at his
him in the Championship as well. He would have been a beast.
Yeah, big time. I really like that shout, Ben. I'm big fan of that. Let's go with Cam next.
Yeah, so I was actually thinking about the category after this and going for sort of my favourite game, and then I realised there's a better one than that. So I'm going to relegate it to this category, and Cardiff at home in the 2018-19 season. Obviously, my category is a bit smaller than all of yours, so it's a bit of a niche one, but we scored 3 wonderful goals that day to go 3-0 up. Ended up just scraping a 3-2. But my pick of the goals that day, Jose Holebas scoring a wonderful curler on the edge of the box. And that was really sort of prime Watford. I have such good memories of that season, as we all do. And especially around that Christmas time, we had some great games. We had a 3-3 with Bournemouth. Narrowly lost to Chelsea on Boxing Day. That time being a Watford fan was just it was absolutely excellent. And I can't forget that Jose Holebas goal, so I'm going with that.
So that's your favourite goal. Do you have another? We'll get round to it in a minute, but do you have a favourite match, or is that you saying you're ticking off both categories there?
No, something overshadowed that match, so I wanted to give it a mention here. And
okay, so when we come round in a minute, you will have another match for me.
Do you think I'm like unprepared or something?
No, well, I'm just checking. You're not wearing a fucking Christmas jumper, yeah.
Trust me.
I feel like this is more an interrogation than it is a quiz.
Also, as well, when you first mentioned that match, it took me a while to remember which one, because obviously that season we went to Cardiff and walloped them 5-1.
Yeah.
But when you said it was a home game, I thought you were nailed on to say Domingos Queen's goal.
Same.
Yeah.
Quinn has scored a beauty that game, didn't he?
Yeah.
Is that the one Delafeu scored where he ran around everyone and slotted it like
that was Pereira actually did that, didn't he? Or was it Delafeu?
No, I think it was Delafeu, wasn't it?
That one was Delafeu, yeah. And Pereira scored an identical goal a few weeks earlier against Huddersfield.
Who did Husey score that volley outside the box again?
That was Fulham.
Fulham at home. That was one of the very few games we won in the lead up to the FA Cup final.
Yeah, that's right.
all focus just went there, and that's what
that was after that tweet, weren't it? About no one else wanting to get into Europe.
Oh, don't. Me and Cam went to Huddersfield. Was Huddersfield just before obviously the FA Cup finals.
Early April, wasn't it?
That was the first game after the semi-final.
Yeah, and that was that took us 7th. That did.
Yeah, and that was a really nice sunny day.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we really balls that up. I mean, I can't help but look at Aston Villa and look at how well they're doing now, and the fact that we were sort of toe-to-toe with them in that relegation battle in 2019-20, and their Champions League, and we're 8th in the Championship, feeling a little bit happy about it. So it's weird how football works. Joe, what's your favourite Watford Christmas goal? And you can't have the Batocchio goal against Huddersfield in January because it was snowing. No, absolutely not.
Well, unfortunately for you, I had a very good backup. And I'm going back even further than Ben. I'm going back to Boxing Day 2006 at home to Arsenal. We lost 2-1. However, Tommy Smith scored a brilliant goal after a mazy little run from Hammerboatza down the wing. Cross comes in the box. Smith puts it in the corner of the net. The Rookery, along with the rest of Vicarage Road, erupted because it was, I think it was a few minutes after Gilberto Silva put Arsenal ahead. And it was a cracking equaliser, and it really got the ground bouncing. But yeah, unfortunately for us, it was like many of the games that season. We just came up short, and we ended up losing to the brilliant goal that is actually, I think, in I don't know if you've ever seen that goal of the month that always knocks around for December in Premier League. The Van Persie
I'm familiar, goal, yes.
The Van Persie goal is probably the least best out of all of them. It's not really that good a goal. I mean, it's a great goal, but when you see what other goals are scored in that month, I mean, there was some absolute pearlers. But yeah, so Tommy Smith, 2006.
Because that would have been when Pedro Mendes was just going around absolutely swatting it from like 70 yards out in Fratton Park, wasn't it?
There was him, Matty Taylor for Portsmouth as well. I remember, I think that month he scored that halfway line goal nearly at Sunderland, where he just twatted it from the centre circle. Scholes away at Villa. I think Drogba and Lampard away at Everton were in that as well. I think Keith Gillespie's in it for a goal.
Your memory's mental, man.
Yeah, there's just some absolute wonder strikes. Cam, I mean, I know you're probably just, how old were you then? 2006?
1 year old. 3 years old.
Wow.
3 years old.
Yeah, obviously, definitely not old enough. But if you can find it online, mate, it's definitely one of the best.
I think I have actually seen that goal reel.
Incredible.
Do you know how people sort of say, where were you? Do you remember where you were when, like, the World Trade Center or when Michael Jackson died? With Joe, can you remember who Watford were playing when Michael Jackson died? Michael Jackson died the day after my birthday one year because it was the 25th of June, and he just announced that big world tour that he was going on, wasn't it? And the poor bugger died the next day or something.
Can we talk about Michael Jackson?
What?
Can we talk about Michael Jackson?
Yeah, I think so. He not got done in a court of law, did he? I don't know. Law, yeah. I don't know.
No, yeah, we'll leave that for another podcast.
Yeah. Well, tune into the Michael Jackson special next week, where we discuss everything from his birth to his death.
Featuring Daisy and P. Diddy.
Yeah, oh, Jesus. That's the Voices of It cancelled. I hope you enjoyed the Christmas special 2024, because that is our last ever recording. You mentioned that goal. I went to last time we were in the Prem. We played Arsenal at home, and my mate Dan is an Arsenal fan, and he got us hospitality tickets for both fixtures, actually, at the Emirates and at Vicarage Road. And the one at Vicarage Road, it was a Sunday, and I think it was. And yeah, it was, because it was on TV. And we lost 3-2. Chucho scored that overhead kick, and then Sissoko scored. Arsenal were different gravy that day. And Tommy Smith was in the hospitality area that we were in. And I said to him, I said, you scored against these, didn't you? And he was like, yeah. He says, funnily enough, I was just talking about someone to that. And then when he was doing his talk, because they do a talk to the room, he said, like, I was just talking to a bloke at the bar, and he was on about me. The goal he scored against Arsenal, because you mentioned there, Joe, we narrowly lost. We also narrowly lost to Manchester United as well at home, I think. That was 2-1 as well. I want to say Damien Francis scored.
That was the game. Yet again, another. They were all that year. It was just all late goals. We just weren't strong enough to withstand the pressure of the bigger clubs. Then it was very unlucky.
Yeah, Damien, if you're watching, please respond to the DMs. We're trying to get him on for ages. Fucking hell. Right. So the next category
Have you done your goal, Mike?
I haven't actually. Thanks, Ben. At least one of us is staying on track. My one, I've gone a bit. I think technically, the raw pace on this goal for me is what stands out. Matty Vydra against Brighton, 2012. We won at the Amex 3-1, and that was up until the promotion season where we won promotion on the day. That was the best game I've seen us play at Brighton.
Is that when he used his pace on the halfway line to get away?
That was the one. Yep.
Yeah.
3-1 we won. And it was in 2012. And Troy Deeney scored. Vid's got 2. He got one in the 68th minute, and then he got another one a minute later. Can't remember which one was the goal I'm referring to. Joe will probably know, because you probably tell us what you were eating at the time, weren't you?
You've just that was my game, actually. That was going to be my favourite game.
You will
I was actually in the away end. I was in the front row that day, and that celebration where he slides on his arse in front of the Watford fans. I was actually in the photo in that, going absolutely mental in front of him. I mean that I know you. I don't know where that category is, but I'm just coming in with it now.
Well, that goes brilliantly, because I think a few answers are going to intertwine here now, because I can see Ben about to say something, and I absolutely know what he's going to say. And yeah, Ben, go on.
Do you know what I was going to say? I was just going to say, when he was sliding, it was across like the Coca-Cola Championship banner, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I was going to say as well that I'm surprised no one's actually said what my other suggestion was going to be, is Wesley Hoot's goal at Hull last year, which was in December. So I thought that was going to be maybe Cam's suggestion, or was it actually someone who you've got on hold, Mike?
Well, Katie will tell us what her favourite Christmas goal is.
Well, of course it is.
Let's hear from Katie herself.
My favourite Watford Christmas goal has got to be the Hoot goal at Hull away, where he absolutely loved the keeper. That's a real special game for me, and the goal was incredible. And it was absolutely freezing. So that is my favourite Christmas goal.
There you go, Ben. 7th sense, or what? 6th sense.
You knew what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's like you knew. There we go. So a real array of answers here. This is where I think this next category, I think me and Ben might have one of it, because Ben's got 2 answers for the next category. I think me and Ben are going to have possibly the same answer on one of them, and I'll reveal why afterwards, or if Ben says it first, he'll reveal why. But Joe, we already know your favourite Christmas match. You're picking that Brighton game, are you? Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Like I said, it was just it was a bit of a weird game, because all 4 goals were scored in the space of like 15 second half minutes. Yeah. I remember Deeney scored, and then do you remember Newton?
Yes.
Newton.
Yeah.
Brazilian centre half.
He put in that ridiculous challenge. He come on as a sub, and he put in that stupid challenge, and they equalised. And then Vydra scored that deflected goal from distance that went over Thomas Kuszczak. And then the third goal was the one with all that pace where he left. I forget his name, Baldy, who we was giving shit all game because he thought he was the best centre half on the planet, and Vidra just left him in the distance.
I can
Was it
picture
Matt
him, but
Upson, was it?
What's that?
Upson?
No, it definitely wasn't Upson. It was. I feel like he's saying his name's not Abu.
Bruno?
It could be Bruno actually.
Bruno was like their right back. He was there for about 8 years.
do you know? I think Ben's bang on the money. I've got the team line up here, and Bruno was their number 2.
It might be Bruno.
Because they had Bruno, Greer, El Abd, and Wayne Bridge.
It might be a lad.
Oh, okay.
I think he was. I think that was it. What's his name? Full name?
Fuck knows. It just says El Abd. Phone a friend. Well, we'll take your word for it, Joe.
But that was a superb. It was him.
Yeah,
it was him. I'm looking at a photo now.
I thought you'd frozen actually, and I was like, "Has Joe froze?" But you were just searching him up. Do you know what? I was umming and ahhing. I was toying with the idea of releasing this as 2 parts. This might be in part 1. This might be in part 2. So me saying that might have just completely messed up the timeline. But I think it's probably going to have to be. But
it might be 4 parts at this rate.
Hey, this is what Christmas specials are for. They really, really are. Favorite Christmas match, Cameron.
Yeah, like I said, don't have the same catalogue as all of you guys, so it's not going to be a classic Watford game. But it doesn't really get much more Christmassy than football 2 days before the actual day. So 23rd of December last year, Blackburn away, little 2-1 win, 1-0 down with about 5 minutes to play, and up step Mileta Rajovic and Reece Healy, and we come away with 3 points out of complete nothing. So yeah, really great away day. I always like doing Blackburn. It's a nice easy away day, not in terms of the journey, it's miles away, but just in terms of, there's stuff around the ground, there's pubs. It's a really one of the better away days, I think. And it helped that they I think it was £5 tickets, wasn't it? Which was a really good gesture from Blackburn. So yeah, that's going to be my favourite Christmas game.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say Blackburn was a really nice place then. I was like, geez, the bar's low. That was the first time I went. Me and Cam went to that game last season. Yeah. And we did the Preston game the week before and then drove back up that way to go to Blackburn the week after. So might as well have just stayed up there. Ben, what's your favourite Watford Christmas match?
If you think that you've potentially got one of my 2, do you want to go first so then I can do the other?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be massively awkward if you haven't. But yeah, okay, that's fine. I have gone with... We were the only team to win there that season. Is that ringing a bell with you?
No, I've got 2 others then.
Okay, that's fine. Well, I might as well carry on. QPR 1, Watford 3, 2010. Jordan Much scored, Martin Taylor scored, and Danny Graham scored. What a game that was. And do you know why I thought you were going to mention it, Ben? Weren't you one of the guys that ran on the pitch when Graham scored? Yeah, as soon as I saw it was in December, you gesturing 2. Did he score both?
Graham scored 2 and Much scored 1. Martin Taylor was in the box when Much put the cross in.
Yes.
And it was Much that got the goal. He didn't get his head on it.
Yeah, that's my one. I remember watching it. It was on BBC One, which is a bit of an odd one. But I'm sure, because QPR won didn't they win the league that year? They won the league at Watford, didn't they? Because Tommy Smith scored for QPR that night, and then I think, didn't he score at Vicarage Road as well? And we wore next season's kit. So it was quite weird because Danny Graham was wearing next season's kit, but we knew he was off. But I'm sure we were the only team to win at Loftus Road that season, and we were phenomenal that night. So yeah, QPR 1, Watford 3 in 2010. Also, as well, by the way, guys, if you're listening, any of the categories we've done. Please put your answers in the comments. We want to know what your guys are as well. We'll pop a tweet out as well and reply to that. Ben, what you might as well give us your two, mate, because I'm intrigued now.
That QPR game, mate, I was a mess. So that's the only reason why I jumped over the wall and I was jumping on the grass. That was the first night I tried snake bite. And it's lethal, man. There was I don't know, Joe probably knows it. There was opposite the green, there was like a walkabout, an Australian bar, pre-match, not too far from Shepherd's Bush train station. So we went there after work, and I'm a lightweight as it is, as you all probably know. So it only took me 3 or 4 snake bites, and I was absolutely bladdered. So that's probably one of the most drunk I've ever been inside a football ground. And luckily, we won 3-1. And I think I ended up on TV by jumping over the wall and being ushered back into the stand by a very friendly, overpowering steward. But yeah, no, it was a good night. My two, I'll go through it quickly. My favourite December game is Watford beating Liverpool 3-0 at home in 2015. Jurgen Klopp's first game for Liverpool. Aki scored and Igalo got 2. Outstanding game and team performance as well. Was just fantastic. And then special mention as well for our 2-0 win over Manchester United in Nigel Pearson's first home game as Watford manager as well. Ismail Assar and Troy Deeney scored the goals. So beating the big boys at home are always going to be great, and especially around Christmas time as well.
Yeah, no, really like them 2 shouts. I remember watching that Man United game. I was still living at mum's then, and I had a lot of Man United supporting friends, and I remember watching it go in and Troy Deeney stepping up to take the penalty, because that was the game where De Gea let it through his hands, didn't they?
Yeah, he did.
Ismail Assar, that was a great game. That was some really good shouts. Although I have just realised,
got sacked after the game, didn't he?
Did he?
Who was their manager? Sorry,
Mourinho.
Solskjaer.
Oh no, that was the 4-1.
Yeah, Solskjaer was the 4-1 one, yeah. But that Liverpool game that we won 3-0, I just got to give a shout out to Alman Abdi that day. That was by far Abdi's best game in the Premier League for Watford that season. He was unbelievable. It was proper vintage Abdi. Actually, it's just worth mentioning, we were talking about him the other day about Nigel Pearson. He's been in the news this week. Obviously, wish him well, because he's gone through a lot over the last 12 months, and obviously, he was loved by. Well, I certainly did. I really liked him as a manager of Watford, and he seems to be on the mend from his major surgery. He said he's learning to walk again, so it must have been some serious stuff.
Yeah, no, absolutely echo those sentiments. Really, really nice. Really good manager, and he was obviously well liked around the club at the time as well. So we shouldn't have sacked him. Simple as that. But we'll never know if he really did punch Messina in the West Ham dressing room. I'm intrigued to find that out one day. But yeah, you mentioned Abdi was great that day. Valon Barami was something else that day. What a player he was, by the way.
You know what? We've bigged him up before about this performance, but we looked into it as well, and he actually started on the bench and came off, and he was a sub. So that impact he had off the bench was just unbelievable, because he was the one that crossed it in for Igalo to head it in, didn't he?
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, there's something about Watford and subs coming off and putting in a performance. Kevin De Bruyne, the FA Cup final, got man of the match, and he come on as a sub. I was like, Jesus Christ. Let's throw in another Christmas question to break up these. We've only got a few left. We've talked about the best Christmas present ever. Cam, I think you'll probably be good to answer this, because of some of the stuff that you've said you've got. What's the worst Christmas present you've? In fact, what's the worst Christmas gift you've ever gifted someone? So you've thought, right, I need to give them a present, but I don't know, I'll just buy them this and happy days. What's the worst one you've ever gifted?
You know what? I had someone for Secret Santa a couple of years ago. Someone I really didn't like, to be honest. And honestly, you try and be funny with these things. I couldn't be asked to be funny with it because I wasn't in the mood. And I just saw this guy. He put gravy on pasta just on its own, so I just bought him some gravy. It's weird, isn't it? But I just bought him some gravy, and it turns out he had me for Secret Santa as well, and he got me like a signed Ismail Assar thing. So I think I got the better end of the bargain there.
Wow.
You bought him gravy.
You bought him gravy. He goes, he sat at home thinking, fucking hell, I got that Watford fan. What can I get him? Oh, do you know what? It'd be really nice if I get him Ismail Assar. I wonder who's got me in Secret Santa. And he's there on the day, opens a fucking pot of gravy.
I hope it was the actual proper gravy, like OXO gravy, and not like an algae.
I spent about £5 on
value.
the gravy. It was Bisto.
Bisto, yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, take it back.
And
I would say that might be better than the SAR sign thing, yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, he did use it all.
That's good. And have you ever used Ismail Assar and SAR?
No, I put it on a shelf, but I pretty much forgot about it, to be honest. It didn't really affect my life from there.
There you go. Who got better use out the present?
No, that's true, actually. Yeah, maybe I need to rethink my answer.
No, we'll take that answer. We'll run with it. Ben, worst gift you've ever gifted to someone? Again, being in a bit of a panic, maybe pulled in at the Shell garage just off the motorway. Thought, shit, I need to buy them a present. What can I get?
Honestly, I'm pretty good at presents. I don't like buying people shit. I'd rather get them something that they will use and actually need. So I don't think I've bought anyone anything shit, even if it's like Secret Santa. I would get them something that they actually like and enjoy. So it's difficult. I don't know. This year I've had to buy my sister's boyfriend, so my brother-in-law, he's a West Ham fan, so I've bought him a West Ham mug that's saying this is the only cup that he's getting this year.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, we'll take that as an answer. That's good. I always find them sort of things quite amusing, a lot more amusing than probably intended to be. But yeah, I do like that. Considering they've recently won the Europa Conference League as well, and it's coming from a Watford fan. It's just brilliant. Like we can dish it out as much as anyone else. Believe you me. Okay, I like that. Oh, by the way, as well, Katie, I've just scrolled through. Katie didn't give us an answer for the favourite Christmas match, so not sure what's going on there. But I'm sure it would have involved Wes Hoot somehow. So we'll just go Wes Hoot and tick that box. Joe, worst ever gift you've gifted someone?
I'll probably have to go back to when I was a youngster in sixth form. We did a Secret Santa in sixth form, and I pulled out this girl that she wore a hell of a lot of makeup. We used to rip it out of her sometimes how much she put on. So I decided to go to. I went to Boots, bought her some makeup. I thought, here we go. And then I went to B&Q and I bought her a trowel.
Oh no! Oh no! I was really worried where that was going.
And I bought her a trowel, put the makeup in, and she opened it, and she was, well, safe to say she was fuming.
Yeah. And here she is today. Please welcome. No, I'm joking.
That was rather amusing. That actually, incidentally, that same Secret Santa, someone bought me a masturbation kit.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant. We should have got him on the pod and said, "What's the best gift you've ever gifted?" That is absolutely brilliant. For any children that might be somehow listening to this, we will not ask Joe to delve into what that might entail. But yeah, I'm sure you can probably.
Are you going to ask him if he's used it, Mike?
It's still in the wrapper.
That's all we need to know. I think
I've still got it, and it's still in the wrapper.
You can re-gift it. Well, it's a family-friendly show here, so there we go. I wasn't expecting that. Just trying to think the worst gift I've ever given. I mean, I don't know. if you ask Beck, she'd probably say the ring that you asked me to marry her, and that's stuck with you for life then. But I don't know. You always panic. I mean, in my younger days, I used to do, like, when I first turned sort of, when I was 16, 17, 18, I used to do my Christmas shopping on Christmas Eve because I used to think that was the best thing to do. But it turns out it absolutely wasn't. It was just a massive rush and a panic. So I think I ended up buying someone like those Lynx deodorants and whatnot, and that's probably the naffest one. I know they're handy to have, and it's always good to have them around the house, but that's probably where I'd go with it. So, bit of a boring answer from me, but I think Joe wins that round, to be honest. Next category, we'll go with Cam on this one, is signing of the year. So again, it's from the calendar year of January 2024 to right now, because we don't know who we're going to sign in January this year or next year. So who would be your signing of the year, Cam?
Yeah, this is one I feel like people were going to overlook if you didn't put me first. So I'm hoping I can throw a spanner in the works for some of you here. People might forget that we actually did sign Georgie Chakvetadze on a permanent this year, just for a couple of million. So he's far and away the pick for me, and I really think he should be winning this category because he's just phenomenal.
I like it. What a shout. And I'm trying to picture first. Joe?
Yeah, do you know what? That was going to be my one as well. When you mentioned at the beginning that we were going to do sign of the year, is no contest really for me. Georgie wins it by a country mile.
There we go. Ben, clean sweep?
I was actually going to mention re-signing Vacuum Bio off his loan from Indonesia. It was Georgie Chakvetadze as well. It's a clean sweep.
Yeah, I was thinking Georgie as well, and then Katie's given a different answer to Georgie, and that slightly swung my way a little bit, but I think Georgie wins it because of how great he's been. There's no point babbling on about it. Georgie wins that one for me, but Katie's gone a little bit of a different route. So let's see what Katie's gone for.
My signing of the year, we are quite limited with who we've actually signed, as a lot of the ones that we signed this season are still quite unproven. However, I am going to go with Festi. I feel like out of all the signings that we made in the summer, he's been the most proven, and I think he has been the most impactful into this side. He's done really well. Obviously, still a bit hit and miss, but for me, he is probably one of the best signings that we made.
Now, bless her, I do feel like I sprung it on her when I asked her earlier if she'd send me some voice notes, because I wanted her to still be, a part of the Christmas special if she's not on here. Maybe didn't quite think about the fact that the January transfer window sort of last year, this year, she maybe not thought quite that far back. So, yeah, I think she's maybe thought about the summer onwards. So, but Festi, I thought was a really good shout because out of that transfer window, I think Festi's been the best one. So, but for me, I think Georgie Chakvetadze wins it because that boy's ceiling is very high if he sorts out his end product. Next one, we're going to go goal of the year. So January 2024 to December. Let's go with Joe. Joe, your goal of the year, please.
My goal of the year. Well, for me, it's a really, really, really simple one. There's only one winner for me. Cam, you know which one I'm going to go for?
Yeah, I think I do.
Yeah, Georgie Chakvetadze is going to win this one for me. His goal away. Sorry?
That's not where I thought you were going.
Georgie Chakvetadze away at Millwall. He created some absolute scenes. There you go. If you just need to see it, there we go. If you're watching, absolute scenes. So yeah, there we go. Scenes in the away end. Beautiful. So yeah, that's my favourite goal of the year. I never thought in a million years he was shooting from there, and I never thought in a million years it was going in.
I was actually looking away when he shot because I just thought, right, it's a bog standard free kick. he's going to hit the first man and they'll head it away. So I wasn't fully paying attention for that one. I just turn around and I see it bulge the back of the net. So yeah, that is a pretty good shout there.
Well, looking back on that one gives me a headache, and probably Ben too, because we were on my stag do in a bar in Blackpool, and it was the Saturday, and I was hanging like you would not believe.
It's like Elton John as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Something about throwing up at a police station, or
yeah, I threw up outside a police station. Yeah, absolutely, that did happen.
That Georgie goal, sorry, Mike, when you and your can't remember his name, Villa supporting guy to the left of me, and I said to both of you, this is too far out. He's not. It ain't going in. Next minute, it just hit the back of the net. I was like, "Fuck me!" It actually went in.
Yeah. It was. If I had a bit more energy about me, I'd have celebrated that like it deserved. But I was in a bad way on that Saturday. So but that was a great goal. Ben, your goal of the year?
For me, it has to be Yasser Asprilla away at Norwich City. Call it on the matchday vlog as well. I just couldn't believe that he actually took it on from that far out, and it just dipped like a couple of yards out from underneath the crossbar and just snuck in that top corner. And it was like it took us all by surprise. Honestly, it came out of nowhere. It's such a rocket on him, and the boy is so talented. And similar to Georgie, his ceiling is so high. He's younger than Georgie, so he's got more potential. But that goal at Norwich was just outstanding, and I'm just so glad that it was. I actually went to travel that far to see that bit of magic, because it was a cold Tuesday night just after Valentine's Day. A 4-2 away defeat to Norwich. It was a poor performance as well, but a bit of excitement from Yasser Asprilla to try and warm up the away fans in that stand.
Yeah, Cam.
Yeah, look, Yasser Asprilla was having his own little sort of goal of the season competition last year and this year. So I feel like I sort of have to go with that same Norwich goal, but because I don't want to be boring and go with what someone else is going with, I am going to be controversial, and I'm going to pick out Vacuum Bio's goal against Derby. That scissor kick, it's just such hard technique, and the person you'd probably least expect it from, to be honest. So got to give him credit there. I want Bio to take home one award from his time at Watford, and if it's only best goal of 2024, then so be it.
Absolutely. We'll take that, and I'm sure Vacuum Bio will take that as well. Before I do mine, let's go with who Katie went with, and it's not who you think it might be.
My favourite Watford Christmas goal has got to be the Hoot goal at Holloway, where he absolutely loved the keeper. That was a special game for me.
That's brilliant. Just testing you guys. Goal of the year is coming up now.
My goal of the year, this is a little bit rogue, but it's going to be Jake Livermore's goal at QPR away at the beginning of the year. Honestly, it was just such a great goal from him, and the fact that he was able to do that from literally nothing was insane. Both of his goals were really good, and that is something that really sticks out from me from this year.
There we go.
Great
when
choice.
I'm playing the right clip, it sounds even better. But yeah, Jake Livermore, big shout out to him. 2 good goals, 2 very similar goals, similar distance as well. And he gets Katie votes for Jake's goal against QPR. For me, I'm sorry to be boring, guys, but Yasser Asprilla, what on earth are you even attempting there? What a goal that was. Like, ridiculous. And, you know, yes, it's dampened by the fact that we lost, but when he hit it, I thought, what's he doing? And to see it ripple the back of the net was just unbelievable. So I think Yasser Asprilla is a clear winner of, well, I think Yasser Asprilla probably wins that one. I know, Cam, you voted different, but I think you were thinking that, weren't you? So
No, I think that's fair, and I think it would have been daylight robbery if he didn't win it, to be honest. But we scored some great goals in 2024, didn't we? Completely forgot about Kone against Plymouth. In fact, I completely forgot about Kone full stop, to be honest. But he scored some great goals, and Kayembe scored a few. We've had some absolute screamers.
Porteous,
Dennis at home
edge of the
to Leeds.
box.
Yeah.
Who
Wait,
at Leeds?
Dennis at home to Leeds.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a beautiful goal.
Yeah.
Are you on about the Porteous goal away at Southampton?
Yeah, that's what I
That
just
was
said.
Was that
Big
was that the one
deflection.
you're on about?
Yeah. It was deflected, but
Worldy.
yeah. Why? What? You look like you got a query, Sonny.
No, I was just trying to remember the goal. Obviously, I was there, but I completely forgot about it. If I'm being completely
Yeah,
honest.
no, he hit it on the edge of the box, and it
He
just
did,
got.
yeah. No, it's a great goal. It was a good, really good goal.
We've all just overlooked probably Watford's greatest goal in the last calendar year as well. And it falls to the guy that Cam's already mentioned earlier. It's Vacuum Bio, his goal away at Plymouth this season.
Yes, or his goal against Oxford.
Yeah. Both.
What's
he
stopping
tried
that?
his best to balls it up, and he couldn't even do that.
Yeah, exactly. And that the delayed reaction by the Watford fans.
Yeah.
I thought it was a TV playing up because I was
Yes,
streaming it. So
No,
I
apparently
thought
there was a big fight.
Really? What?
Apparently, I found out the game after. Apparently, there was a big fight in the away end, and all the fans were watching that, and they all looked up and noticed we'd scored.
Ah, there we go. Then that's news to us.
Apparently, that's what I was told. I'm not saying
Yes.
that's 100%, but that's what I was told.
Of course. Team performance of the year, January 2024 to December. Let's book the trends and actually start with Katie.
My team performance of the year, this is a little bit rogue because we did actually lose this game, but it is Man City away in the Cup. I think this was one of the best performances we've put in against a Man City side. We were absolutely robbed and we deserve to come away with at least a point or at least go to penalties. It's the best I've seen Watford play a lot this season. We really stepped up. And like I said, we were absolutely robbed from getting something from that game.
Man City, what a shout. That gets my vote as well, by the way. So stick 2 down for Man City.
I think
we're
sticking 5 down here.
Yeah. There we go. That was the quickest category ticked off. We're all going for Man City. I mean, me and Cam went, and I don't know what we were expecting, Cam, but it certainly wasn't that, was it?
No. And I remember we were sort of having a competition for, can Man City score now so we can nip to the loo? We were just thinking they're going to absolutely run away with this, and there's no point in us really sticking around for it. But wow, we were phenomenal. Never. I mean, we know Man City. Obviously, maybe it was the start of them sort of falling off a cliff a little bit, but nonetheless, we were absolutely superb. And just compare it to like with our away form this season as well. We're absolutely terrible against the likes of Hull City, who are bottom of the Championship. So to go to Man City and do that well, just such an unbelievable away day.
Yeah, I think you've summed it up perfectly there. We've got
considering
one more...
we was like 1-0 down after like 2 minutes as well.
Yeah.
It was just ridiculous, and it's probably the best I've seen work rate on and off the ball from a Watford side. Just they didn't down tools and they chased absolutely everything. Like that's what you want. You want committed performances by every single player, and it was hands down, like everyone has said, best performance. And I know it's silly saying it off a defeat, but we shouldn't have lost. Quadro Bar's goal shouldn't have been disallowed.
That's what I was going to say. The fact that you factor in Quadro Bar scored a perfectly legal goal and it gets chalked off for no reason. Haaland does that every week not recently he doesn't, but 9 times out of 10 before that, he was doing that week in, week out for Man City. But Quadro Bar does it from little old Watford, and no, you can't do that against the big boys.
He did it the other night, didn't he? Bar in the corner, up the G, blooming threw someone into Rosehead, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, yeah. Yeah, he almost took a seat next to me, that poor bastard did. But yeah, it was some shoulder barge. We've got one more Watford category in terms of like player category, but I've got 2 more Christmassy themed questions for you guys. So we'll do the 2 then, and then we'll finish on the last category, which is unsung player of the year. Now, before we do that, Ben asked us last time what our favourite Christmas song is. However, I want to know this time, what is the worst Christmas song? A song you hear come on the radio at Christmas time and you automatically have to switch it off and you think, no, I'm not having this one, not having it at all. Joe, I can see you sort of deliberating. You're not sure on this one. Have you got? Does one spring to mind straight away, or do you want me to go to someone else first? You have a bit of a think, or
I wouldn't say I've got a worse Christmas song.
there's got to be one that you hear and you think this is maybe not hate it, but you think it's annoying. And granted, a lot of people probably think Christmas songs are annoying, full stop. But there's got to be one.
Yeah, do you know what? Because I don't think it's actually there is one, and I don't think it's a Christmas song. And I like the song, and I always get involved when I sing it. But E17, Stay Another Day.
I knew you were going to say that,
Wow.
and I'm glad you did because
Kate, you
I
said that.
listened to a podcast from Nicky Byrne, and if you don't know the name Nicky Byrne, he's in Westlife, and he had Tony Mortimer on from E17 as his most recent guest. They come out every Thursday, and he was talking about Stay Another Day and how he didn't write it as a Christmas song. And not to bring the mood down here, but that song is actually in memory of Tony Mortimer's brother, who I believe passed away, but I think he committed suicide, bless him. And Stay Another Day is an anagram of, well, the initials are sad. So it's actually a very sad song about a loved one who passed away. And now it's somehow got locked into this Christmas vault. But I will take your answer for that because, yeah, it's a bit like that Die Hard sort of question. Is it or isn't it a Christmas film?
Yeah, it is a Christmas film.
Right, so, I mean, I've never watched it, so...
What?
Yeah.
You've never watched Die Hard?
Never watched Die Hard.
Right,
Neither have I.
I think I'm going to have to leave this podcast.
It's not a Christmas film, Joe. It's just set on Christmas Day. Okay, so we have one vote for Stay Another Day. Cam?
This isn't strictly because of that song, but Bieber just pisses me off, and I turn him off every time he comes on. That's not my final answer. I can't sit through Silent Night, to be honest.
Okay.
It bores me. I've got to turn it off. I don't really count it as a Christmas song. And,
I mean, it absolutely is. More so.
I don't really like. It's not upbeat. There's no joy about it.
That's what Mike's playing us out to tonight.
Yeah, that's why I got the microphone. I'm going to sing it.
I just don't enjoy it, and perhaps most controversial. I'm fed up of Mariah Carey. It's just overplayed now.
I'm not having that.
Absolutely done with it, and
You're
we
literally
need
ruining this podcast.
We need a new number one.
No, so I'm going to give you two bits of advice. First bit of advice is if you don't like Silent Night, listen to Michael Bublé's version. He does it very well. And second bit of advice, if you want a bit of a change up from Mariah, I got absolutely slated for saying what I'm like saying this last year on the Christmas pod. But Mariah Carey sings that song with Justin Bieber. Listen to that if you want to spice it up, because Justin Bieber jumps on that song. It just freshens it up a little bit. But again, another bit of music knowledge for you. I don't believe Mariah Carey was going to. Well, when that first come out, All I Want for Christmas Is You. It took a few years to sort of really take off. It was a bit of a flop in the first couple of years. So, that's a bit of a music knowledge for you. So we've had Stay Another Day. We've had All I Want for Christmas Is You. Ben, have you got a Christmas song that you just cannot stand?
Well, Kate's just walked past and heard us, and her vote's for E17 as well. So just if there's an extra vote, she's doing E17. But you know, for one, it irritates the fuck out of me. Band-Aid. They change it every fucking year, and it irritates the shit out of me. Do they know it's Christmas time? I know it's for charity, but it annoys the hell out of me.
The original Band-Aid or the ones that they've redone?
I think the original ones are right, but when they keep coming back remaking it, it's like they're just trying to make more money, aren't they? And I understand the purpose of trying to make more money, but it's just irritating.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Hughes ODG won't agree. Will be fully on board with that. He doesn't agree with the song either.
Yeah. No, that Band-Aid, that's a good shout. I think for me, even though it's quite catchy, I think you've got Mud, Lonely This Christmas, Little Drummer Boy, the Paul McCartney one. I can't think of the name of it now. It was on the radio earlier. But yeah, Paul McCartney one. Yeah, can't think of the name
What
of it.
about Feliz Navidad? Like, if it was in English, it'd be great.
No, but Feliz Navidad is Spanish for Merry Christmas. So I'm all for that, mate. That's one of my favourite ones. I was singing that. I was stuck in my head this morning.
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas.
Exactly.
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas from the bottom of my heart.
There we go. Don't say we don't treat you here at Points of the Week. And then the next Christmas one is, we've talked best Christmas films. What about worst Christmas films? Cam, you look devastated to be asked that.
No, because I know I'm going to get ripped into for my answer. Simple as that. I don't like Home Alone, and I can't stand it. That's not the worst Christmas film. It's just a very, very overrated one.
Okay.
In terms of the worst one, you've put me on the spot here because
we'll take that Home Alone answer, and you can get the absolute dog's abuse for that, mate. So we'll take that.
Okay.
Joe, you having a think?
Yeah, I am. Worst Christmas film?
Die Hard.
Die Hard, yeah.
No, not a chance.
Well, I tell you what, I'll come in and I'll tell you what.
Home Alone 3 actually is probably the worst one.
Okay.
That is probably like when they tried to. Home Alone 1 and 2 are brilliant, and obviously Macaulay Culkin didn't want to do the third one, so they brought it with some random kid, and yeah, I was just, it was poor.
Not a fan. Well, I tell you, mine isn't a particular film, but at the moment we're watching quite a lot of Christmas films in the evening, and rightly so. You know, it is Christmas time, and I'm all for it. But I cannot and will not stand for these cheesy American Christmas films on Netflix, and you know it's going to be cheesy and corny because it's rated U. What Christmas film with adults is rated U?
Is that the one with Christina Milian that's just come out?
I don't know. The problem is, Joe, there's 10 or 15 of them. You go onto Netflix now, and obviously all the top ones are the Christmas films because it's that time of year, but they're all rated U. And it's like, they've got adults in. They better not swear because it will blow the censor up behind the camera. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. They're so corny. And to make matters worse, they are all the same story. Lonely woman around Christmas time ventures into a new town. She meets Mr. Muscle. She falls in love with him. She realizes the value of Christmas all over again. Fucking change the record. Jesus Christ. I'm not having it. I am absolutely not having it. And they are the worst ever. Absolute worst. So
well, they're coming to Lincoln next year, and they hosted you and Beck are going to be the stars of the show.
Yeah, tell them to shove it, mate. I'm not having them. So it's not one particular film; it's a cluster. If it's rated U and it's not an adult film, that sounds wrong. But if it's like got adults in it and it's not a kid film, then it's bollocks. Simple as. What's your worst Christmas film?
Voices of Vic exclusive. Mike only likes adult films. It's difficult because you just automatically think of ones that you love. So ones I don't hate a Christmas film, but the one I maybe dislike or one that I'm not interested in watches is The Grinch. I'm not massive on that, you know.
Okay. That's there's two answers there that could get a bit of traction. We like traction on Voices of the Vic. Might encourage some comments as well, maybe. Yeah, if you're watching along, what is your least favourite Christmas film? Comes on the TV and you think, nah, stick something else on, stick Corro on, something like that. Let's bow out of the Voice of the Vic Christmas special with the last category of unsung player of the year, and we'll start with Joe.
Unsung player of the year.
Yeah, who's done well? So cast your mind back to Jan and think where we are now. Who do you think has done well, but necessarily hasn't quite got the plaudits that maybe other players like? We know George's done well, we know Matty Pollock's done well, but who's sort of snuck in there and put good performance along the way?
I'm going to stick my neck out and say Mileta Rajovic.
Cam leaves the chat. Cam leaves the chat.
I'm not having it.
I was only doing it for reaction. I just thought it was just brilliant.
I'm not having it.
No. I'm probably going to say... I don't know, Can you come if you come back to me, go to Cam first, because do you know what? No, in all fairness, Mike, I think everybody that's deserved praise and that we talk about on the pod, we mention everything. I don't think there's anybody that I can cast my mind back to genuinely and think, well, this person hasn't really got the praise that they deserve, if I'm being completely honest. Like, that's just me being genuine. There's not a person that sticks out in my head like, like you said, we bigged up Pollock, we bigged up Chad Vicazzi. Obviously, we know Hoot and Yasser were great from January till the summer. It's not a player that I can think where we haven't heaped praise on when necessary. So,
okay, Cam, have you got a proper answer, or are you going to skirt around it?
No, I see where Joe's coming from. Where the players. The players that are doing well, they get the praise they deserve, and I think it's more. There's players that are scapegoated when they really shouldn't be, and they really are doing a decent enough job. I think Ryan Porteous is a victim to that. Let's ignore Ben saying Daniel Backman. I know he's trying to make that prediction he made at the start of the season come true, but not going to happen, Ben. Yeah, that Ryan Porteous has got a lot of stick. Sometimes it's just, but I think overall he has been a good player for us. But I'm gonna stick my neck out, and I'm gonna say Emmanuel Dennis got far too much stick when he was back with us. He wasn't consistent. He wasn't the player he was in the Prem. I think he did an okay job, and I think if he had more time to get fit, and if he was in a settled Watford team that wasn't losing every week and didn't change manager halfway through his spell, I think he would have really thrived. And I think he did generally do okay, especially when Cleverley came in and he sort of used that front two of Bio and Dennis. And I think both of them were pretty effective back end of last season. But yeah, Dennis really, really gets a lot of stick. So I'm going to defend him here.
Did you put a question into Do Not Scratch Your Eyes the other day about the return of Dennis and potentially the signing of Iheanacho?
I did, yeah.
Justin absolutely was not having Emmanuel Dennis, by the way.
So, I haven't got around to listening to it yet.
No,
but
I listened to it at work today, and yeah, let's just say Justin is not having that Dennis shout at all. Yeah, quite interesting. No, that's an interesting shout. I'm sort of going to go down a similar line in a minute, but I'll come to Ben first. Who's your unsung player of the year, Ben?
Hands down, James Morris.
Wow. Do you know what? I'm having that. Yeah, I like that.
I think when called upon, he's been fantastic. He's not the first name on the team sheet by a long way, but he's one of these guys that works extremely hard to improve himself. And look, he came into the club after being released from Southampton. He's a left back by trade, and he's came in this season playing left centre back with a free. Like it's alien to him, but it's not coming across in performances, and he's not had a bad performance whilst playing in that position. So in theory, he's playing out of position, but still giving like a 7 out of 10 performance. And I just think it suits him probably better than a left back role, because he hasn't really got the pace to go up and down the channels. He's better off in his left centre half position. And I just think he's been fantastic whenever he's called upon. And don't get me wrong, I don't want him to be starting games, but whenever there's like a suspension or an injury, you've got James Morris, who gives 110% in every performance, and he's never going to let you down. He always gives you everything, and he never puts a foot wrong. I don't think I've ever spoken about James Morris and been like, he's to be blamed for that goal. He's never been that player. He's always given 110%, and he's always wore his heart on his sleeve. And I just feel like he should be the unsung player of the year for me.
You said there you don't know whether he should be starting games, but me and Joe actually had the conversation after Hull on Wednesday night, saying that after sort of Sierralta's recent performances, we probably would throw Morris in. Obviously, Ogbonna's going to be back for Burnley in a couple of weeks' time, but I would, going into West Brom on Sunday, I'd probably look at a back three of Porto, Pollock and Morris, 100%, because...
And that just shows how far he's came. If us as fans are starting to think that he's good enough to start championship games as well, because realistically, when you're looking at him when he's came in off the back of like a release from Southampton and the odd appearances, he's got like 45 appearances from Watford now, and they're not bench appearances, they're starting appearances. This season he's played loads consecutively, back-to-back games as well. So like the standard for him to play week in, week out is probably going to be League Two. If I'm totally honest, I don't think he's good enough for League One or Championship starting week in, week out. But for someone that you can rely on coming off the bench or coming in when someone's injured, I don't think you can go much further than a young 23-year-old James Morris.
No, I think you're right. You know, I remember that game at Norwich that me and Cam went to, and he was left back, and there are a few sort of ums and ahs about his performance, and is he going to have much of a future at Watford? But fair play to the coaching staff as well to see that he could play in that back three, because he's like a new man reborn. You know, that back three really, really suits him. And like I said, Sunday, I wouldn't be against seeing his name on the team sheet in that back three, to be honest. So, before I do mine, let's hear what Katie had to say about her unsung player of the year.
Is it Wes who?
Unsung player of the year is not necessarily someone who is underrated, but it is Kwado Bar. He has absolutely transformed this Watford side, and he's transformed himself. I remember seeing him when he first came here. He was a tiny little thing, and now he is huge. He is hungry. He's always driving forward, and he's an absolute machine. I think he needs one more season and he's going to be at his full potential, but he is going all the way to the top. He has absolutely come on every single game with fight, drive and determination, and he's always looking to score that goal.
I think that's a very fair shout from Katie. I think Kwadwo Bar, obviously, you know, we've talked about him at length on the podcast, but I just think he adds something different when he comes off the bench. He might not be one of the first players you think of, but I think that's a very fair shout from Katie. I'm going to go completely different now. I'm going to get quite a bit of stick of this, and I'm only going to go different because I could very easily agree with what Ben said about James Morris. I really do like that shout, but he had a really good spell of games around sort of a similar time to last year. And just to be different, I'm going to go with Ben Hamer, because I think when he got called up for Bachmann, and when Bachmann was dropped, I think he done more than a good enough job. Obviously, he then lost his place. It was Millwall, wasn't it, where he conceded that goal, which he shouldn't have conceded, let's face it. But other than that, I think he came in and he suited the way that Val wanted to play at the time. It was clear that Bachmann couldn't hack the way that Val wanted to play. But to be fair to Hamer, he come in and he did a job and he played the way that Val wanted to. And he come in as a number 2, the massive pressure. I mean, look, we've seen it with Jonathan Bond this season already, and it's been quite similar. You know, when Bond lost his place back to Backman after he was back after the injury, there were a lot of Watford fans, ourselves included, that said that Bond should have stayed in goal and that Backman would have had to have worked his way to get back. But, you know, I think Ben Hamer deserves at least a shout there. So Ben Hamer's going to get my vote on that one. So Hamer for me, Morris for Ben, Dennis for Cam. And you still not got a name for me, Joe? You still...
No, once Ben said Morris, I'd probably just agree and say Morris. Yeah,
Morris for Joe, and then Quadwo Bar for Katie. Well, I think that about concludes the Voices of the Vic 2024 Christmas special. It's been a bit of a long one. I'm still in two minds as to whether to release it as 2 parts or whether I just put the whole slog out. Not that it matters or anything like that, but just in case anyone's wondering, we're actually recording this on the 13th of December. So obviously before the West Brom game. So yeah, before Quadwo Bar goes and scores 5 or 6 against West Brom, and you're wondering, why didn't they pick Quadwo Bar for everything? That is why. But yeah, this is going to be released on the 18th. Not sure why I told you that, because it doesn't matter. It'll be released when it's released. The only thing I mentioned at the top of the show about a Watford Christmas 11. Has actually anyone written any down that might be? Ben, you're nodding. You've written 3. Can I just give you my horrendous 2, and then you can give us your 3? Yeah. So, Cam, you're going to laugh your head off at this. So, one of the ones I've got, and I'm really clutching at straws with this, is Alec Chamberlain, or, if you say it slowly, Alec Chamberlain.
Oh dear.
As in,
I'm sorry, Alec.
Yeah, no, we get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's going to ask for that episode to be deleted now.
And then, I think this one is quite a clever way.
Oh, here we go.
Festive Ebusele.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. We're having that.
Yeah.
You can have that one. I'm impressed with that one.
Who's your 3, Ben? I'm intrigued.
All right, so I've gone Rocco Santa. Rocco Vata.
Okay.
It's a stretch.
Is that just because it's also a 4-letter surname, or
Santa's 5?
Santa is 5. Anyway, good night.
my next one's not too bad. Hector Jingle Bellerin.
Okay. Yes. I wish I had an applause. In fact, do you know what, Ben? For that, you can have a doorbell. That's your mate. Well done. You can have that.
Anytime now.
No, the doorbell's already played.
Oh, has it? I couldn't hear it. Last one, Costel Pantomime.
Okay. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
We've missed a real obvious one.
Go on.
What's that?
Gifton.
Yeah.
He's come
And
through.
Noel. Gifton Noel Willie. He's got 2.
Gift on Noel Williams. Wow. You've redeemed yourself for not wearing a Christmas jumper, you brat.
There's probably
Joe,
loads, isn't
do
it?
you think of
I hadn't had one, but one just popped in my head, and it's a really bad one. I just came up with, and Cam's not going to like this. Ishmael a Silent Night.
Oh, God. Good Lord.
What are we doing here?
Silent Night. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm going to, do you know what? When I tweet about the fact that we've done Christmas special,
That's so bad.
I'm going to tweet for festive 11s, and you better respond with that, because that deserves all the abuse in the world. Ishmael a Silent Night.
You thought Santa was 4 letters.
Well, yeah, and Alec Chamberlain.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what we've been able to put together. On
Well,
To be
if we're
fair-
having any of those, can we have Forest Trieri?
I thought about
Cam's
that.
pulling them all out. Jesus, Cam's pulling them out here. Gift on Noel Williams and
Well,
Forest
we got a
Trieri.
five-a-side team at the moment.
Yeah.
Some five-a-side team as well. Very,
Got a goal in.
very, yeah. I'm having that.
Defender.
Yeah, well,
There-
we've
yeah,
got.
there's loads more. So yeah, everyone let us know what you come up with, because I imagine you'll come up with better ones than Ismail a Silent Night.
Yeah, I just want to say as well, I have not stolen this idea from anywhere else, because Do Not Scratch Your Eyes put a tweet out saying they might do a Christmas pod, and they asked for like questions, and I think Louis Tajira said festive 11s, and I was like, you bastard! I was going to do that on our podcast, and then I thought I still can. So yeah, I've not stolen that, Louis. If you do listen to this, I don't know if you do, but I've not stolen it. So yeah, but honestly, it has been an absolute blast. It's been probably the longest Christmas special we've ever done. I really hope you've enjoyed it this year. It's been great. It's probably been a bit scatty from my end in terms of a bit erratic with my hosting, but I have had a couple of drinks and I've also been incredibly nervous as well, because a Christmas special, along with the prediction podcasts and the end of season awards, are always the ones you sort of look forward to in the podcasting. So it's quite a big one. But yeah, we really hope you've enjoyed it, and have a wonderful Christmas, whether you're at home or whether you're visiting family or whatever your scenario is. And yeah, I really hope you have a wonderful Christmas, and hopefully many 3 points for Watford in weeks to come. Because when this is out on the 18th, our next game will be. When's our next game after the 18th? Are we playing on
Burnley,
the 31st? Yes. So hopefully this is a good little warm up for winning against Scott Parker and Burnley, and hopefully we would have beat West Brom as well. But yeah, until next time, come on, you horns. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. See you later, guys.